Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between. I am your host, James J, with Kaliko Yachts, who is not here, Mitch Mayhem, that's actually on time,
Oh, what's up?
and Scooter Dust.
Good evening. I love none of you.
Yeah, I know.
It's a great day for wrestling, and it's a great day for us as well. As last week, me and Scooter interviewed DVN. That was a great interview about current women's wrestling and a look into intergender wrestling. And plus, there was a great road story as well. And coming up this week, we have Zachary Pierre Beldur, ZPB
But,
for short.
but you.
Just yeah. Just make sure you send me that name and to where I can read that in Twitter.
uh, he will be our next interview this Wednesday during NXT and Dynamite. Me and Scooter already, got that done. And what can you say about this interview, Scooter? It was one of our better ones.
It was probably the best one we've done to date. ZPB is an independent talent who truly exudes his passion for the business in every single thing that he says.
And it was originally scheduled to have Bam Bam Malone. Scheduling conflicts on both parties did not allow that, so we will not be promoting that again. Hopefully, we could maybe schedule something in the near future as well. Um, a bit
Excuse
of
me.
history today or yesterday. Yesterday, was the 15-year anniversary of Eddie Guerrero's death. I mean,
Jeez, that long ago? Fudge.
it felt
Yeah.
forever ago.
I
But
mean, in retrospect, I guess. But like, I went to sleep and I was 23. I went to sleep and now I'm 36.
and could you maybe tell us maybe some fond memories of Eddie Guerrero, Mitch?
Oh my god. Wow. There's too many honestly to count for me. I think of obviously his WCW time and then the what was their name? Revolution with Benoit,
The
Saturn,
Radicals.
the Radicals, that's right. Revolution was WCW version. Okay. Yeah, Radicals and WWE that came in that way, and then his iconic work with China, Mamacita. I mean that's like vintage Eddie Guerrero, and then you lie, you cheat, you steal with Chavo. And that's like the vintage Eddie Guerrero package right there.
Would you like to elaborate a little bit too, Scooter?
Um, a lot of there's nothing that isn't memorable about the career
Oh,
of Eddie Guerrero.
I'm
Eddie
just picking a
Guerrero,
few pointers. Yeah.
yeah, Eddie Guerrero clearly misused by WCW from the Latino World Order, him throwing coffee on himself. A lot of his,
Oh my God.
a lot of his WWE iconic moments happened at the beginning of his WWE career and at the end of his WWE career. Of course, who can forget when Eddie Guerrero showed up on SmackDown, yes, with the Radicals, as was mentioned, and was relegated to a team with Perry Saturn in a best of three series with DX, where Eddie Guerrero, in his first WWE match, immediately rips his bicep
Yeah.
on a frog splash. Now, to
And-
go to the opposite end towards his, unfortunately, in the final month leading up to his untimely passing, that feud with Rey Mysterio. Of course, his match with Mysterio at WrestleMania 21, where they were both tag team champions, one of the few occasions where you actually see tag team champions competing against each other. And of course, the
Say it.
Are You My Daddy storyline,
No, you missed it.
I'm your puppy.
which can be summed up in in 5 words. Where the hell is Vicky? And of course, Eddie Guerrero lives on in almost every wrestler we see today, from of course Ray to Sasha Banks, who we see every week.
His illegitimate son, Hector, Dominic.
Real quick. I don't think you can talk about Eddie Guerrero by saying this guy's name. It's not okay what he did. I'm just saying there's a link between these two people, Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. They were brothers. Like they had. When Eddie went, it affected Chris I think it affected his psyche really bad. And
it affected all of us.
Yeah, well, him more. That was his legit brother, dude.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, he lost his brother,
and
I get that.
Some good things, nothing good comes out of a debt, but we got Vicky Guerrero out of the deal, and hopefully we'll see his daughter come into wrestling soon as well. I believe she's training.
Which one? Shaw?
Yeah.
Shaw's been in wrestling.
Yeah, and Shaw's already come and gone.
And I was gonna say, like, dude, you're missing the boat. Like, that was a long time ago, yeah. Shaw's been in wrestling. I think she's married, too. She's married to Aiden English, ain't she?
Yes.
I believe she is.
Yeah. There you go.
Interesting news this week. Tony Chimel, who was a long-time ring announcer for WWE, got released.
I know who that is. He got released?
Yeah, he's best known.
I didn't hear that.
He's best known for doing the Rated R Superstar.
That was when he was bigger. Yeah, that was when he was doing a lot of work.
Tony, a long-time member of the WWE family. What does this mean for WWE and their cutbacks?
Can I be honest with you just real quick? I gotta say this. Can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was already released a few years ago.
Yeah, I thought he was released too.
It's not just me, also
under contract. Plus, also some very late breaking news. Zelina Vega has been released.
What?
Yeah.
What? Why?
Things are unclear at this point.
Dude, she should have been pushed more than she was in the ring. She's a better wrestler than they're giving her credit for. Than they gave her credit for.
I don't necessarily think that that was the case. If you saw the match with Asuka and Zelina, you could see.
I'm not saying they're all greats, but I'm saying she had the ability in certain.
No, that's why. Let me finish. You could see that there was potential there for a major run, maybe with a championship. And I think other people saw that as well.
I don't know about that, but to solidify her is more than just like a jobber pushover, yeah.
But on the opposite side, speaking of signings, independent talent Alex Zane has signed with the WWE, but a new performance center class has rolled in, and none other than former Impact Tag Team Champions,
The
the
Rascals.
Rascals, Desmond Xavier, Zachary Wentz, and Trey Miguel, part of that new Performance Center class.
That's really interesting.
WWE signed the Rascals? I don't know.
Not necessarily signed, but they're like a tryout.
Well, right. Giving them a tryout, yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, they're definitely marketable. Pre-pandemic, they were really popular with teenage girls, as far as I know.
I think their potential, their works in progress kind of thing. Like, WWE's been hiring a lot of guys that, like, they're not there even in a close shot right now, but maybe in the future they will if they have the right teaching, and coaching.
Going back
Also,
to Zelina Vega for real quick, she did make a tweet like earlier that day saying that she supports unions, and then
Oh, shit!
then 10
That's
minutes
why she got sacked, because she tried to start a union.
and
Or
then
she was for
10 minutes later she got released. So
it. Dude.
maybe it's just a coincidence. I don't know.
Yeah, just a coinkydink.
uh,
Nothing more, right?
some
Can't
little
be a
bit-
corporation being a corporation, could it? Sorry.
a little bit of sad news. I don't know how many of you are familiar with independent female wrestler Melissa Coates.
Me? I was.
She is
She's an old schooler.
unfortunately she's just undergone left leg amputation.
Ooh,
Oh my
damn.
god. Fuck, bro.
Due to artery blockages in her leg. She is a GoFundMe has been started in her to help her with her bills. On Facebook, Real Melissa Coates, Twitter at Real Super Genie. Get more information there. Any donation greatly appreciated from Josh Greenberg, Esquire.
And I could put the all those links in the description of the video as well for anybody that wants to donate.
Yeah, there's a lot of other news.
It was a big news day, yes.
WWE not bringing back house shows.
Until 2022, but I mean
Well, I would hope so. COVID spreaders. Shit.
that's all kind
There's
of
a reason why we haven't got to hang on things yet, is because we still allowed congregations, or in certain areas.
I mean, that's all like rumor and innuendo at this point because
Kind of science.
if they find a cure tomorrow, obviously the next day WWE is going to run a show. So that's
Did you hear they announced the vaccine today? Or Trump did, at least.
One thing that's also rumored is
I know that's saying nothing, right? But
No Way Jose is rumored to come back to WWE as well. Is
why?
that a good get for WWE or?
I like him. I think he's a good wrestler, good guy, but I don't see, like, he got released for a reason. He wasn't, he was just a jobber, and he wasn't being given any more. I don't see why they would want to bring him back. He's got a good personality. He's a big guy, but they messed him up already. I don't know if he can rebound from that.
If they bring him back under his actual
new name, yeah.
Because he had a reputation of being a great wrestler in.
They do that with good wrestlers. They give them shit gimmicks. Yeah.
I believe his real name is Levi Valenzuela, and yeah, to me that's kind of a kick-ass name if you ask me.
I think he's Cuban.
He's Dominican, I believe.
Dominican, that's right, Dominican. I always mix those up.
If you are Star Wars fans, in the latest episode of The Mandalorian released on Disney Plus, you can see none other than SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, that's kind of
Mm.
cool.
I guess.
I mean, if you're a Sasha
I
fan, yeah.
like the Mandalorian. I don't like that. I mean, okay. Tastes are tastes. I don't prefer the new Star Wars movies, but I love the Mandalorian. So.
Plus, while we may have lost one Vega, there will be another Vega
Savio!
appearing at Survivor Series as part of the final farewell to the Undertaker. Savio Vega, yes, and the rest of the Bone Street crew will
Well,
be
the ones that are alive. Yeah.
yes, yeah,
Oh,
which is
come on, man.
I think basically Godfather
I'm
and
just
Savio,
saying.
which I think it's basically Savio, the Godfather, and Rikishi at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Is
Isn't
both
Minion?
Phineas and Hog on? Yeah, they are. Aren't
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but I
Minion's
don't.
alive.
No, he's not.
Yes, he
Midian?
is.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, really?
Dennis Knight is very
I
much.
thought Dennis. Honest, wow.
I
I could have sworn I heard like something happened to him.
No.
there
Well,
was
I'm glad. Thank God. I'm just saying.
some very interesting stuff going down on NXT this
I love
week.
Nick and Midian. All right, go ahead, sir.
You're referring to Leon Ruff winning the North American Championship, I'm assuming?
Yeah,
Yeah,
not Leon Rush. Everybody, Leon Ruff.
Yes.
uh,
He's like a cheap bargain Leo Rush version.
and apparently people are really hating it, and
like Gilbert.
and this was not done to push Leon Ruff, but
What was it done for then?
just to drive home the fact that Johnny Gargano can't hold on to a title.
Really? Are you good? They give someone else the rub, not a fucking scrub. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Okay, even NXT is losing it with the booking, dude. That's horrible. That's a bad decision in my opinion.
I don't know. When he won the championship, I kind of popped. So
But why? Or is there going to be any payoff? Do we know this guy? Is there going to be any character building? Is he just going to drop off the face of the earth? Sounds like it.
it really doesn't matter because
How so?
because
Entertainment value matters. If it's like a 1-2-3 kid situation, okay, I give you that. 1-2-3 kid made it work. He made it work. He knew how to make it work. This guy doesn't have that. I don't see it.
We don't know yet. I mean,
from what I've seen so far, when I saw Sean Waltman do his thing, I was like, he's got something.
he's been an enhancement talent at this point. Oh, so far.
So was Sean Waltman. Just saying.
Exactly. So I'm willing to give him the benefit.
And he
of the doubt
did something
that,
to get his foot in the door, and he got up there with the 1-2-3 kid gimmick.
Hey, if it was WWE,
With the Razor Ramon feud.
If it was WWE, I would agree with you. But NXT has done a good job with, doing these kind of stories. So,
but you fail to realize
that
Vince is taking over more, even NXT. I think.
Another interesting thing this week, Devon Dudley's sons are making their AEW debut.
They should be a good tag team in the future, yeah.
What does that mean for pro wrestling to have such a legendary tag team have their son? Well, one of their sons.
This was planned. This is like the Uso. What do you mean, Rikishi? It's happened many other times already. Rikishi and the Usos. This is just the necessary step. I believe that they deserve it. They have for a while. They should have been in. I think they should have been in WWE Performance Center. But
that's what I was going to ask you. Devon Dudley's a part of WWE, so why?
I don't think they gave them deals. I don't. Yeah. Otherwise, they would have.
What say you, Scooter?
It's a very interesting situation because
I think they're regretting it.
Will the well, they're not going to be called the Dudleys, but I'd love if one of them dressed up like a Dudley and one of them.
You gotta do something with the Dudley name.
If one of them dressed up like a Dudley and one of them dressed up like a Reverend.
I don't know. Oh, the Deacons. You could do something like that, I guess. Like that's WWE sound. That's like WWE-ish though. That's like a gimmick.
Like
Everything's a gimmick.
Junior Dudley or something like that.
Yeah, you get the Deacons tag team.
Right, but if AEW is gonna build anything on them, most likely we're probably, and I wouldn't say we probably won't see Bubba Ray, but
No, he's in ROH, ain't he?
Yeah, I would bet we would see Spike though.
Why do you say that? We haven't seen Matt in quite a while.
I mean, we haven't seen Tully Blanchard until he came to AEW.
Who's apparently still with Sean Spears.
Who knew it?
Yeah, we haven't seen them in a while. I'd be shocked and surprised, but I thought last I heard that he wasn't involved in wrestling anymore. But yeah.
And I think that'll conclude our news coverage this week. Lots and lots of things happen. It's now time to start our preview and review portion of the show. We are wrestling with New Japan Power Struggle. It was last week, and this was basically your biggest show until Wrestle Kingdom, so to speak. Your first match out was Toru Yano defeating Zack Sabre Jr. in 12 minutes and 11 seconds by countout. Yano tied Zack Sabre Jr.'s shoelaces together between the guardrails, making him unable to make 20 count. Have any of you ever had your shoes tied
so you're telling
that they had to be cut off?
So you're telling me they made him look so stupid that he couldn't untie his shoes?
No, they had to cut the.
Well, I'm just saying they're making the dude look stupid.
No, I mean if they're boots, those take a friggin' long time to lace up.
Right, but you can cut a knot. I mean, depending on the knot, you can unknot it pretty quick.
This was also a no corner pads match.
I'm just saying it seemed like he wasn't. It sounded like he wasn't even trying. I don't
know.
So there were no buckles, no buckle coverings rather, or no corner pads.
That is correct. The whole thing about KOPW is that it always has to be a stipulation match. And I think Yano drives in that chaotic environment. Was there anybody better to be the first champion of this new concept?
Yeah, that's probably the best choice. I'm actually more surprised that they actually got to a 20 count. Can anybody remember the last time an actual New Japan match ended in a single count out?
G1, Yano and Sonata.
Well,
second match on the card, Minoru Suzuki lost to Shingo Takagi in 18 minutes and 56 seconds with Lost of the Dragon. Shingo Takagi is your new Never Openweight champion. What I want to bring up about this match is the next match on the card, was a singles match with nothing on the line. Does that kind of speak volumes of what they think of the Never Openweight Championship? Mitch?
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat that? I'm multitasking. So
Scooter,
sorry.
Your thoughts?
Start with him.
Yeah, I've never really gotten the grasp of the Never Championships. Yeah, I know it's an acronym, New Blood Evolution, Vanity, Valiantly, Eternal, Radical, which is ridiculous. I mean, what are you? I'm the Never Champion.
Yeah, it sounds like some Peter Pan shit to me.
Like, yeah, congrats to Kagi, which
Kashi 6'9"? Nah.
which I think this is his fourth and NJPW title.
Kage? Oh my god.
But yeah, the title could be retired tomorrow, and I don't think anybody would miss it.
And I don't think anyone will notice Takage as a champion, to be honest.
And that brings us to our next match. Kazuchika Okada defeated the Great Okan in 12 minutes and 58 seconds by
Good.
referee
Rainmaker needs to get
stoppage.
wings.
Just progressing the storyline with Will Ospreay, Okada, not the same Okada we've known in previous years.
I don't think he's been the same since about a year or so back when his legendary streak got stopped by Kenny Omega. I think after that he feels that a little.
I think he made a comeback after that. It's just
For the
after
most part,
January,
maybe a little bit, but for the most part, like it wasn't the same Okada. You could tell there was it wasn't the full drive that we saw for that 5 years before, where he won every Wrestle Kingdom. That was a different Okada. He had his eye on the ball, and it just felt like he was like, rightfully so. He earned the right to relax a little, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm just saying.
our next match, Kenta defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi in 19 minutes and 57 seconds with game over. Kenta successfully retained his IWGP US Heavyweight right to challenge contract. So Kenta will, let's say supposedly, wrestle Jon Moxley at Wrestle Kingdom, either on the 4th or the 5th.
I don't think Moxley's. I don't think they're gonna be able to get him to Japan, dude. I don't think that's gonna be possible.
You think it is a possibility? Let's pretend we're not in a pandemic for a moment.
We've been like here since March. It's gonna be like this for maybe next to another March or past that. So we just, it's just a new norm we've had to get used to. I'm just being real.
Considering that where more restrictions have.
Yeah, thank you.
Today,
not in my state, but in your state. Yeah.
Today specifically, now since we're now no longer allowed to have more than 10 people in our homes.
So basically, March and April standards are back. Yeah.
And if somebody complains, the cops will come and.
Man, we need a gulag for these fuckers.
But yeah, I think it's a moot point to discuss Moxley returning.
I do too. That's what I mean by that.
When United States Championship.
Yep, I do. I agree, actually.
Okay, well, let's fantasy book here. Kenta, pandemic restrictions void. We actually see Moxley at Wrestle Kingdom. What do you think the match against Kenta?
If you want to do some fantasy stuff, because that's not going to happen. I mean, Kenta, because I don't see how you can continue Moxley and NJPW. So find a way to get Kenta the cheap win, I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
Moxley win, and Moxley would want that. So I think that also.
You could do where they advertise the match, knowing Moxley isn't going to show up, and boom,
they could.
It's by forfeit, and then New Japan can throw somebody else up against Kenta,
right,
in an immediate defense.
Sounds like an NJPW thing.
That actually sound like. And
Get
they
Yeah,
them.
have
that
done it
sounds very
before.
Yakuza-ish.
Maybe even Sonata.
Ooh, I actually like
Okay.
that. I'm a huge Sonata fan.
I like the fantasy book and Scooter's coming up with.
I've been a Sonata fan since she was in TNA.
And
Uh,
and just one more footnote. You can, if if there's any acknowledgement of Moxley having the title, eventually we're going to see what happened in '93 with the NWA and WCW, where the IWGP United States title in America will be renamed, like the NWA Championship was renamed the WCW International
Like the
Championship.
American title, yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, so it's got to be something like that.
on the opposite end of that spectrum, Hiroshi Tanahashi, this was kind of his last big effort to get a match at Wrestle Kingdom. He went from like 10 straight wins at Wrestle Kingdom to possibly not even being on the card this year. What does that say about Tanahashi?
He's a relic of the past, in my opinion. He's been needed to be retired for a while. He came back out of nowhere in like 2017, 2018, and I mean, you let legends have their reign back if they want to, but they gotta check back out sometime. And I think now's a better time than ever than any for him.
Do you agree with that, Scooter? Do you think Tanahashi is kind of preventing the inevitable at this point?
I mean, the guy's got a career most people dream of.
Exactly.
Like eight-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, two-time Intercontinental Champion, three-time Tag Team Champion.
And he was their John Cena like before they got big,
U30 Openweight Champion. He's held every New Japan credential under the sun, and I think Kaliko's here.
I believe he is too.
Probably if he sent you an invite or something, yeah. Or a call. He does that every now and then.
Do you want to finish your thought, Scooter?
Is is it time for Tanahashi to think about hanging it up? Yeah, yeah, we're probably looking at the the legend role to get talent over while still looking.
Yeah, he doesn't have to retire. He just can't be on top. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Tanahashi can go on a string of losses and still not really have it affect his standing, so to say.
Right.
That brings us to the fifth match and probably our most controversial topic tonight. IWGP Heavyweight Intercontinental Double Championship Rights to Challenge contract match. Current G1 briefcase holder Kota Ibushi lost to Jay White in 18 minutes and 47 seconds. Jay
Oh, wow.
White is now your title rights holder to challenge at Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, wow. Holy shit, Kaliko was right.
Which
And
technically, vicariously means Jay White is now the winner of the G1.
I know, Kaliko was right.
that's
Holy
technically right. Okay, now if we had this conversation on the day after the show aired, we would be talking about, hey, Jay White, obviously they didn't want to give him, the main event, the G1 win, but they gave him the main event and all that stuff, good stuff. But then Jay White said that he will challenge Naito on January 5th, and Naito could wrestle whoever he wants on January 4th. Naito challenged Kota Ibushi for the double championships on January 4th, which is now confirmed by New Japan
So
that match is happening.
two title
So
matches?
basically, the briefcase means shit, and you could just get a championship match at Wrestle Kingdom for absolutely no reason now.
But he had to beat the winner though.
Well, this seems like this is a very unorthodox way to get one title off Naito.
Definitely, but I mean, it's not like it's never been. We've never seen anything like this. It's
No, it's for double championships. It's for both. It's IWGP Intercontinental.
But
Right.
but they're gonna. It seems like they'll come up with something where instead it's gonna end up being one title.
I can see them doing that too.
That reeks of this.
That might be something, but this isn't, as of right now as it stands. This is WWE booking by New Japan, right? It doesn't really make sense.
Exactly, which is why I'd say this is probably a convoluted method to split, and it also makes me think that New Japan is iffy on holding two belts, and they're almost gauging to see if they should continue with Naito holding both belts, because I believe this is the longest dual reign in pro wrestling history where someone holds both top titles.
Well, it's kind of kabuki-ish as well because he doesn't defend one or the other. It's been both each time. But, I could, and this is totally a conversation I would have with Kaliko. You give Jay White the championship on January 4th. He fights Kota Ibushi on the 5th. Kota Ibushi gets his win back and the belts, and everybody goes home happy. That's not how it's happening. If Naito loses to Kota Ibushi, who's essentially the Stone Cold Steve Austin of this generation, I don't see people accepting that. Do you agree with that or do you disagree with that? And is New Japan making Kota Ibushi a Roman Reigns?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. I mean, because Ibushi also has a storied career, but Ibushi could also go another 10, 15 years. So, and looking at it now, Ibushi has never been IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
That's correct, but that's also because he hasn't been under contract with New Japan for very long. He's been with New Japan, but he's only had a contract with them for roughly 2, maybe 3 years at this point.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with you, James. I think this is a Steve Austin situation, and I think they're gonna let Kota Ibushi run with it.
You have any thoughts on the matter, Mitch?
Not really. I mean, just Not really. The Kota Ibushi thing, it is what it is. I don't know if they're gonna make him Roman Reigns, but it seems like that's where they're going right now. I don't know if I would do that, but they seem to know what they want. So
And that brings us to our last match. Tetsuya Naito defeated Evil in 33 minutes and 8 seconds with Destino. Naito successfully retains double IWGP Intercontinental Championships. Yeah, so this match way too many times in 2020. I will ask, Naito's going to Wrestle Kingdom, the main event. Where does Evil go?
Hmm. That's an interesting question. I don't think we can tell at this point.
You have a
Maybe
best educated guess, Mitch?
can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Where does Evil go?
I mean, like they obviously had a vision for him, and I didn't agree with it in the first place. So hopefully he goes back to where he came from on the card, in my opinion. But I don't know what they have in plan. I don't know why they started with him if they're just gonna drop it. It's a good question.
I I'll go out on a limb here and I'll say Evil starts chasing the never openweight championship.
Oh my God, then it's really downhill from there, then, ain't it? Holy moly!
And that will conclude our coverage of NJPW Power Struggle. And we are wrestling with AEW Full Gear review. This was last Sunday. And this was, in my opinion, one of AEW's better paid previews. What were your thoughts, Scooter?
That top to bottom, very good. You know, lots of lots of changes, new things on the horizon for AEW. Um, but yeah, again, it's that we're into that make or break, year, and we were talking about, and it's it's touch and go at this point because the AEW main event scene after Full Gear is going back to what it was when AEW was first starting. And it was a repeat of matches we had seen in Japan. And it's not necessarily a great place to be. I think it's a matter of wait and see.
What about you, Mitch? You have any thoughts on the paid preview as a whole?
I didn't see it, so
All right, then.
I've heard good things, but I didn't see it.
Let's get into it. Kenny Omega defeated Hangman Page in the finals of the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament. Um, this was old Kenny Omega, wasn't it?
Yep. Yep.
Then we have maybe a sleeper match. Orange Cassidy defeated John Silver. Um, I wasn't expecting a lot out of this match, but it was actually a pretty good match. What do you think that says about Orange Cassidy and John Silver?
Nothing. It says nothing because
I've seen midgets have a good match.
neither will go anywhere.
Sorry.
The ship has sailed on Orange Cassidy. The moment to really put him in the spotlight is gone.
Yeah, and I promise you, James, you need good chemistry and you need to know what you're doing, but you can't. It's not a misnomer. You can anyone can have a good match as long as they're on their game and with the same person coordinating right. I've seen it happen with people that weren't that great, but they worked well together.
I know you were definitely outspoken of Orange Cassidy, Scooter. You think that they killed all of his momentum after the Mimosa Mayhem match?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they did too. Because of Chris Jericho. I think Chris Jericho has become what he used to bitch about.
I mean, he's lost a lot of matches as of recently.
Right, but he still holds that. Not today, brother. If he feels like it, if he wants to feel like a champion, I'm just saying he has that ego. He's a rock star.
I think there was a preconceived notion about Orange Cassidy
What do you mean?
that he was no more than
He was a Shikara guy.
yeah, but that he was no more than his gimmick.
The gimmick. Can I be honest? They're right, but it was a good gimmick and it was over.
Not capitalizing on that momentum to evolve his character into something else, because now just Orange Cassidy seems like the guy who just comes up, does a show with his hands in his pockets.
Real quick though, here's my point in this. I don't think, or I lost my thought. Go ahead. I'll get it later.
Now I think we can move on from this.
TNT Championship. Darby Allin defeated Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson. Wasn't a bad match, and obviously the story was there, but I don't know. It was kind of cold open for me, considering that neither of them really did promos or any storyline related incidents before the actual match. What was your thoughts, Scooter?
Well, I mean, when you have two faces, you're not going to really it's one of those unspoken rules in wrestling that when you have two faces challenging each other, that none of them should really, cut a promo, on them, and we're not talking, WWE's perspective on this. We're talking about, old school, traditional, NWA values here. And I don't think there was anything they really could have done in terms of a promo to build this match. I also think it was a mistake to think that they could do that in general just by the concept alone.
I understand what you're talking about. And, they kind of didn't give Darby the moment. They immediately went into another storyline with Brian Cage and, the little buddy guy. What's his name?
Ricky Starks?
Ricky Starks. Um, Instead of, maybe trying to get Darby a little bit more over. Uh, Next question: what do you think Darby will succeed as TNT champion, or do you see this as a failed experiment?
Real quick, they should have. If okay, after the Jericho thing, they should have had Orange Cassidy win the TNT title off of Cody, not Darby Allin.
Yes.
I see nothing in Darby Allin.
I mean, we do joke on the show a lot about Darby Allin.
It's not a joke for me. You know
We've
how I
certainly
feel.
had our fun at his expense. Um, but AEW is going with him, even though people don't know who he is in a supermarket. Um, is that the right call, or do you think that AEW is putting their money on the wrong person? And does his look kind of lessen that appeal?
I think Cody's too close to the product. That's his friend, I think. So he wants to push his friend. I get that. But go ahead.
I do see Darby Allin as champion opening up a new possibility of matches
People with my physique actually getting a chance.
going into certain direction. I
I don't
don't
see that happening.
know.
I think he's a misnomer, but yeah.
I don't know if it's really going to go down as a memorable reign. I don't think it will.
Hopefully they see that it was a mistake and they reverse course, but who knows?
It's
That was a mistake.
yeah.
And that brings us to AEW Women's Championship match. Hikaru Shida defeated Nyla Rose with Eddie Guerrero to retain. That happened on this show. And probably the most talked about match on the card, AEW Tag Team Championship match. The Young Bucks defeated FTR to become the fourth ever AEW Tag Team Champions. What was your thoughts on the match, Scooter?
It was a great match, but with a very predictable outcome.
Because if they didn't win the match, they won challenge again.
Yeah, I mean that is the stipulation I absolutely despise because aside from you know Cody, Cody Rhodes, that actually happened to it in the team that has everything to gain and nothing to lose will always end up winning.
Right. But, obviously, this was a dream match that people have been waiting for like 5 years. And this is not, once and done. They're going to have other matches in the future. Was this a good first step in their rivalry?
Yes, and I can't be any more can't elaborate any further. It's just yes.
All right. I mean, it does seem like AEW, a lot of people give them a lot of shit, but their tag team division is pretty good, right?
Yes, yes, I will give them that. They have one of a great tag team division. constantly evolving. But I will say that there's a little bit of going backwards with breaking up the Lucha Bros and who they never had the AEW tag titles, did they?
They did not. I mean,
So
I always saw the Lucha Bros more as singles competitors rather than a tag team.
yeah.
What about you, Mitch? Do you have any thoughts on the tag team division?
What AEW?
Yeah.
Interesting thing with Phoenix and Pentagon. I heard happen in Pac came back. I heard. Did you hear about that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's positive. Just not going off the subject, kind of. But I was talking about the Lucha Bros, them and best friends, and so I've always thought they've had the best tag team division. You know that, and better than WWE, and it just keeps getting better and better.
Well, depending on who you ask,
My opinion.
this next match is good or great. Elite Deletion match. Matt Hardy defeated Sammy Guevara. This was a proper Ultimate Deletion match, wasn't it, Scooter?
This was the same thing we saw in Impact in WWE.
I'm just gonna say, like, it was good. Okay, the reason I liked it when I saw it for even the second time, because it was new. It was a fresh idea. It was zany and off the wall, but it was different, and it was done in a way that was kind of unique and mystifying. Now it's been beaten like a. I mean, it's just been obliterated. It's a corpse of a horse at this point. It's been beaten to death. It's not effective as it used to be anymore, in my opinion.
I mean, with cameos from Shane Helms and Gangrel.
That was a lot of fun.
I think Gangrel is a very underrated wrestler. I loved Gangrel back in the day, but yeah, anyway.
Oh, absolutely. It still had effect on me. I thought it was funny, and I think Sammy Guevara is a future AEW champion. The way that he does things. But if you kind of think about it, Matt Hardy kind of when doing these cinematic matches pre-pandemic. So is he kind of ahead of the curve on that aspect?
Real quick, I think people in AEW, because they have the opportunity to do this, they do things more for themselves. In the case of Matt Hardy, I think he does this gimmick. It's what he likes. It's in his niche, so to speak. It's where he's comfortable. And I think they just do what they like, and they get a blind spot for people on the outside watching. I think that's what it is.
What say you, Squidle?
I mean, the next time we see this type of match, it's going to be sponsored by AARP.
Yeah, Matt Hardy's like 20 years away from the 64 limit of a wrestler.
No, he's older.
It's a joke. I mean, what Roddy Piper said. Come on.
He's older.
Older than 64.
No, but he's closer to 64 than 44.
Okay, 10, 15.
I don't know what else to say. It's the same old thing.
It's like, yeah, he expects us to be like mesmerized when we've seen this over and over, there's nothing new. It's just the same thing, repetitive. Repetitive things get boring, especially for someone like me who's a creative-minded person. So yeah, it's not going to hold someone like my attention span.
That brings us to our next match. MJF defeated Chris Jericho, and he will join the Inner Circle. It's better than joining the Dark Order, right?
Yeah.
He could have been 11.
Oh God. Yeah, number exactly. Just a number. But with the Inner Circle, he's his own entity. He can still be MJF. If he had to go to somewhere like the Dark Order, he would have had to fall under the Dark Order line and be just another number.
How long before he starts calling himself Maxwell Jericho Friedman?
That I will say, like the dance thing, it was entertaining, but it was kind of corny. I cringed a little for sure, but it's wrestling, and it was very Jericho-ish, and it fit them both, so why not?
And that will bring us to our last match, which is Jon Moxley retaining the AEW Championship against Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match. What do you think about the match?
It was what it was supposed to be, a vicious bloodbath.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston's that's what he's known for, just a rough, like you'll see a rough, like hardcore-esque match with Eddie Kingston win or lose.
But now this was Kingston's second shot, or was this his first? It's his second, right?
Yeah.
So this basically puts an end on the main event push for Eddie Kingston, unless they do something with him and Omega, where the title opportunity is on the line. But woohoo, we get Moxley and Omega again.
You say that sarcastically, but they've only had one match the whole AEW run. And last time it was a non-sanctioned match. So wouldn't it be interesting to see them in a normal one-on-one title match?
No,
I don't give a fuck.
not unless it's the cleaner.
Do you think that we'll see the cleaner Kenny Omega soon, or do you think that he's lost forever in New Japan?
I hope we see him again. That was the good version of Kenny Omega.
If the cleaner doesn't show up prior to the title match, he will show up after. Because if Omega comes out on the losing end here, it will drive him most likely storyline to insanity. And
Yeah, and if you turn Omega heel, I think going to the back to the cleaner and doing an AEW version of the cleaner is the way to go.
Alright. And that will conclude our coverage of AEW Full Gear. And next week we will be talking all things Survivor Series as it's coming up not too long.
Probably talk about Undertaker too.
Oh yeah. And don't forget to check out our latest interview dropping on Wednesday at during NXT and AEW Dynamite with ZPB, Zachary Pierre Belder. It's must listen to podcasting, without a doubt. Until then, you can join the conversation on Twitter. I am at always at JamesJ993. Where can they find Mitch Mayhem if Mitch Mayhem tweeted?
They can find me at Mitch Mayhem X.
And where can they find Scooter Dust?
As always, at Scooter Dust and representing the UNB Wrestling Network at UNBS Wrestling.
For Coleco Yachts, Mitch Mayhem, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.